straight back into it, guys. As in the top left side, our blue Terran player from Team Liquid is Cure. Excuse me. Taking on the Zerg in the bottom right. And the red from onside, it is Solar. Alright, one of these players will be eliminated. Not much we know. Who will it be? Who's feeling good enough to keep themselves alive across the course of this best of 3? Difficult one to predict, because they really do usually just trade series with each other, so it's definitely kind of a part of it. See, like I say, who's just the better one today. No NA group. Doesn't really work out. NA time zone is not great for playing in the time that the playoffs will be, for example. And there's also, it might work for like a handful of players, but if those, if the 4 to 5 players that might be able to play, that might make it work, can't play, then you're stuck in some trouble anyways, right? So. We're going about, and we just have ourselves the link speed and a couple links on the way. Pretty peaceful opening of the TVZ so far. It goes down, gonna push the queen around a little bit. Now, these Reapers are over here. They're going to get the kill. No cancel as well, so extra 19 minerals lost. But it does mean at least you get the third hatch up on the right-hand side, so that gets to come through without the Reapers continuing to harass you and bother you, so there is at least some benefit to how that just went down. So Reapers do make their way back up that right-hand side just for the moment. Queen is going to be popping out. The few extra drones coming through. Steam pack is still just being brought into play. As those Reapers get away for the moment. Good grenade as well. Yeah, the choke point makes it a little bit difficult to commit in as Solar, so he's just going to have to let those Reapers slide out of there for the moment. Let them live another day. Marines are going to get this Overlord. Will go down. Nice grab as a couple Cyclones continue through the starported reactor as well. All just building up for the moment. Unuseless stat, average lifespan by unit type. That'd be some great statistic. StarCraft needs more of that, man. Whose Reapers typically live longer? Clems or Bjorns? you know? That'd actually be great. That sounds useless, but it's the kind of thing that's actually kind of interesting anyway, you know? Can actually tell you a lot about different players and stuff, to be fair. Cyclones and the Hellions move back around to the bottom as we just have Lings, Baneling Nest, Blair. We'll continue through. Medevacs and the Marines are going to come across as well as the Overlord will go down. Our Marines will unload from these Medevacs. And again, for the moment, just going to have a couple of Creep Teamers going to get picked off by this Bioforce. We're going to push through 2 Creep Teamers 3, so here able to take some progress. Whoa, that was a bad move command. That was pathing. He kind of wanted to go back, but he kind of clicked, as he was here, he could have clicked like here instead of like here. And that meant that half of his units decided that this path was shorter, so that is a QA mistake. That's not really a map issue. Sometimes certain maps have that problem where it's like, it's easier to do that. That one shouldn't have really been a problem, though. I don't really see that being a position where that typically happens. Success SCVs go down. That counterattack is delivering, so absolutely putting in some work. 7 SCVs, third base lifted, can't land right now. And these units on the other side of the map from Q just aren't really achieving much just yet. Not really able to do much on the attempted push forward. As Marine Cyclones and Reapers continue through, we're just going to see a couple of those Cyclone lock-ons going for some Zerglings to begin with. Still getting the 1-1 upgrades, melee upgrades, and attack upgrades on the side of Solar. Melee upgrades on the side of Solar, attack and just armor upgrades as well, side of Cube. Solar's going to be slightly faster to 1-1. May also be able to get to 2-2 slightly sooner as well, so something for us to watch out for. He's still kind of keeping position down on this bottom side of the map. He's still kind of sticking around over here for sure. Not giving that up too easily as he obviously likes this position. He likes what he's able to do so far. And you have the bio setting up. They got the medevac. Well, the medevac loading up and going to go boosting through the bottom. I need to update my mothership cost. Never. Mothership will always be minus 400 to me. That is a meme too deeply ingrained in the StarCraft community. I don't think that will ever go differently as Bio pushes up. We're just going to be aiming for this base. There's plenty of queens to transfuse it up if necessary, though, so I can't imagine this is going to go so crazily well for Q that he's going to knock the base down and find tons of success after either. Ling's going down. Ling's Bane going to come in from 2 different angles. Q might just have to get into those medevacs after letting the tanks do some of this damage. He starts to lift off. The Marines in the back will be the final ones to lift. Obviously, the tanks will go down, but getting out alive is the most important thing you can do there. Just keeping some amount of units up, and now you can already see the continued pressure available. The Lings come in one more time. The Bio is still just here to meet them. And a lot of these Lings just continue to meld as we try and get through for a Cyclone, but the medevacs lift up. We back away. Hive still coming through. 2-2 melee upgrades as well. Cyclone locks on for those queens for a few moments longer. You still see Marines just coming down the right-hand side. Gonna knock a whole bunch of Creep Teamers down as they go. The Ling's coming across, the Bane's coming over. We target down one more Baneling straight away. You see those Marines loading up one more time there, trying to stay out of trouble as best they can. Baneling's crashing through, which you will see some success though, so the Baneling's doing well enough for the moment. Excuse me, sorry. As Adrenal Glands continues in with the Vipers, the Lings, the Hydra Den, all still building. Boy, I might get into a nice little bit of a macro game right now. As you see the medevac's going to escape up the right-hand side. Marines and a couple of mines will continue to move across as well. They're going to come up to the top. Well, Vipers will soon be finishing up with the Hydra Den on the way as well. A lot more Lings coming through. The extra Hydra's coming up. The Ling Bane comes over. The medevac's going to lift and get away. fire. That's a lot of Lings going down. Baneling continues to chase as well. Those Marines will lift back up. Queen still sat centrally, figuring out what it is that they will try and do next as +3 attack on Cost of Shells, Planetary Fortress. Continue to move along into base 4. Obviously already setting up base number 5 as well, so these are all things we can just keep our eyes on as our bio gets down here. Gonna be able to grab that hatchery, knock that down straight away. Nice little cleanup. Going back through, Widowmine's gonna fire. Oh, friendly fire, but funny, friendly fire, but also hit a lot of Ling Bane. Usually you see friendly fires like a couple Lings go down, but then, you know, the friendly fire does a lot more. This was friendly fire that didn't kill anything, it just hurt it, but also did genuinely, you know, it was a Widowmine that got a lot of Ling Bane anyway, so I'm not sure how upset at that you can really be. And there's another Widowmine shot there. Is decent to clean out a few of those Banelings every time that's happening. Again, you should be fairly content about it. Parasite Bomb gets rid of a couple more medevacs, so they will go down. The bio still sat in the top right. Extra Banelings, Zerglings morphing in. The bio will stim it up. We'll try and fight against that Lingbane Hydra force as it tries to run up here. Widowmines. One left over, goes down before it fires. The Marines just have to back away. No medevacs left, no healing available. That is not going to be a fun fight. If you stick around and try and see what's going on, you're not going to end up having a good time. I can tell you that much for free. Still a drop. A set of units over on the far left-hand side. More Lingbane Hydra continues through as this Bioforce will stand and get rid of just a couple extra Lings. And when Kira can decide when to jump in, he can do well. As on the top right, there's a Widowmine there that does not quite go off on the Baneling, so obviously keeping an eye on those run-bys as they could be dangerous if left to kind of do their own thing. For now, we come back over here. Widowmine shot is actually decent as well. Solar unable to find good enough splits to really deal with this effectively, properly. Going to shut this down in full force as the bio now regathers up on the top. We have one medevac boosting back down the left-hand side. These few Marines stand strong and fight against a few of those Lings as well. Parasitic Bomb's already coming down. Parasitic Bombs have been so good. They've killed so many medevacs this game. We've already seen 6 medevacs go down. That's honestly a pretty sizable number for this point of the game. You know, 12.5 minutes in, you know, if this is a longer game, then sure, we expect medevacs to die, but yeah, first a few times we've seen Parasite Bombs, it feels like they're constantly finding damage. As Pure not set up on the planetary, but he is set up the counter-attack on the right side, so that's where Solar will be getting punished for being a bit too committed over on the left side. Bio continues through a lot of these drones going down, and the Marines on the natural expansion continue to hold tight over there, continue to hold their own as I mean, it's interesting because both players are going to be taking a lot of damage. It's important for Q to kind of go. The moment Banes come up and a Blind Cloud as well, this army will start to have issues. And that's generally the problem. There is a reason you don't usually base trade a Zerg like this, because Zerg is very good at reinforcing. They typically have a big bank and a lot of lava ready to go because they need that to reinforce from a fight anyway. So in this scenario, you're kind of coming across the map against a Zerg that is able to kind of reproduce and get more units out and to slow your attack when typically your own attack or your own defense back at home is not going to be withstanding until it's maybe too late. The Zerg almost always gets the better trade in this, and that's why so often when the Terran is halfway across the map, they will prioritize turning back around and coming home rather than trying to continue out onto the map, which is usually a little bit of a disaster as our bio continues through. A couple of Hydras going down, creep tumors will begin to drop. Extra Lings coming through, the Banelings as well. Infesta coming around as our +2 missile upgrade is just about now starting. I think Solar is slowly but surely going to just eke out the advantage in this one. I think he's got this one more or less in the bag. I think he is looking very good, so feeling decent enough for him at the moment. Not sure what Kira really does. Even the units he does have are just hurt because, again, the medevacs have been beaten up this game all the way throughout. They have just been absolutely stomped on. So they really have not been having a good time in the slightest. Our bio sets up over here. I'm just going to be seeing a few Balins starting to come through. Hydras as well going to be coming across. Overseer still overhead. A couple of Vipers ready to get going. Parasitic Bombs available to launch onto these medevacs. Fungal Growth in combination. Solar just continues to run all the way over with this force. And Kira is going to be able to, well, just about survive, but for how long? I mean, he's going to eat another Fungal here. His units are just trailing off, and Solar is about to be 1-0 up. in this elimination match, looking to avoid his elimination as Lurkers are going to go up on top of this planetary as well. So they are just going to eat up Planetary Fortress. That is GG's. That is our game. That is a Solar on a 1-0 lead in this elimination matchup. So it's a tough life. Bottom left, our blue Terran player from Team Liquid. This is Cure. Taking on the red Zerg in the top right. From onside, we have Solar. He looks completely horrified at the fact that I've not gotten out of my chair. Decided to throw something for her, but such is the cruelty of this world. Heckity, heckata. As we get our refinery down, we get this all started on up. One barracks at the front, gonna see a second as well, so completely different style from... Well, actually not different, he did this last game too, right? He had the Reapers to harass. Oh, he's distracted style last game. Just trying to cheekily finish my lunch. Oh, it was still warm. So, double barracks coming through, hatch, gas, and pool coming up. A drone coming in as well. Get all of this just on the way, underways, on the go, etc. If the Zerg builds 15 ultras and he moves them, what stops that? Ghost can't? Why can't Ghost stop that? It just sniped them all down. You literally just walk behind a wall off and you just snipe. Or any amount of SimCity just to buy you a couple extra, a half second to get the snipe off. Or you just kite because with ultras being still clunky, quite frankly, you'll only see like 4 or 5 ultras ever getting play at once. Like, ultras have an upper limit where you get to a certain amount of ultras and they just can't really do anything extra. Because it just gets to that sort of stage where they all block each other, right? You need 45 snipes? Yeah, but you can have like 4... That's like 4 ghosts. That's like 5 ghosts. No? You can have like 4 snipes per ghost if they're full energy. Which if the Zerg has had time to build that amount of ultras, maybe you should probably have that, I guess. I mean, you don't have to just snipe, right? Like, you're also going to have other things. Once the ultras get to a low enough count, it just becomes a bad time for them in general, right? So, yeah. Ultras are a funny unit, man. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. Our funny one is our Reaper taking some shots off the Queens. Gonna drop another grenade down there. Pop the Queen around a little bit. Maybe gets onto the drone. Another Reaper from the left-hand side, one from the right. Couple shots go off. Queens take some hits. Link speed is still producing. We got a couple extra overlords continue to come on by. And all of that on the go as our hatchery and our drone coming up. A few Reapers just move it back around the bottom. Marines continue to build on the barracks. I mean, I think there are times where 15 ultras can absolutely kill a Terran, but like, I think they derp out over themselves more often than not. I mean, also 15 ultras is like 90 supply, right? If you take 90 supply of bio and get it to fight 15 ultras with nothing else to deal, you know what I mean? Like, ultras are very supply heavy, no? Ultra is 6 supply. Am I just absolutely talking crap right now? Now I'm confused. Now I'm doubting myself. Yeah, Ultra's 6 supply. Ultras are so like, it almost sounds ridiculous how high supply an Ultralisk is, especially now they're smaller units and stuff. Because Hellions continue to move around. As they go over to the far right side of the map, just going to be seeing a couple Queens. Evo chambers, lings all coming through. The extra drones are building. And the Liberator pops out, gonna start moving onto the map. 90 supply of Marines against Ultras. Yeah, well, Marines don't do damage to Ultras, but if you're building 90 supply of Marines against Ultras, it doesn't matter. Like, you know, that's like saying, well, what if the Zerg built 90 supply of Mutalisks against, you know, 90 supply of Archons? It's probably not going to be a good time, you know? I think, yeah, the reality is it's very difficult to just attack as the Zerg, and so you're forced into these kind of, you know, slower approaches. And anytime you take those slower approaches, it just becomes difficult to really make it work with that amount of Ultras. And the Terran can just, you know, get one Ultra here, one Ultra there. Because are you really just going to be able to whack your way straight through, like, all the bases and just do it all in one fight? Maybe. Our Hellions and our Reapers move back up to the upper left. Medivacs will go boosting over to the right-hand side. The Liberator is still setting. As Reaper Hellion just sits there and waits for its opportunity to maybe find some further damage. Trying to poke forward. Beats a bunch of queens to start out with. It's not exactly ideal. A couple of grenades will go down. There's a hatchery. Will cancel up. Medivacs unloading. These few Marines will continue to fight. A couple of those lings already going down, so damage is being dealt. Getting very low, just about able to stay away. A couple of drones have fallen here, as we still see plenty more lings coming through. The extra drones, the melee upgrades, the bandling speed is all just producing in for the moment. Reaper Hellion off on that right-hand side, trying to figure out what it can do as well, perhaps. There's our Hydra Den, still building in. Things all gather up. 1-1 combat shield continues through. Got our armory and the barracks on the way in. The Hydra Den still coming into play. As our medevacs will load up and we go out up the left-hand side. So there goes Cure. Medevacs load up, boost back around the left-hand side. Lings and Banes and Queens continue to come around for the moment. Just going to be seeing the Infestation Pit is coming through. The Hydra's still building, the Overlords as well. There's our Banelings, just going to come forward there. Game really slowing down, but it's only 8.5 minutes in. It feels like it's slowing down because we're on the way to Hive and Infestors, and Solo's just getting all of his tech up and rolling. Fun stuff. Rains come through, the Lings and the Banes are going to come over, the Hydras as well will start to chase on in. Oh my goodness! The first tank is in a bit of trouble. There's tanks on the low ground though, and they can get a couple shots off from afar, so that at least is something. They're able to find some amount of damage there, some amount of protection for themselves, as we do just have the Medivacs tanks. The Marines still moving about for a little bit. Medivac goes over that right-hand side, just trying to see a little bit more of what it can get up to. It's going to fire. Fungal Growth lands. The Marines are going to get stuck a little bit. Taking some shots. That was a scary moment. Now those medevacs still just chilling out in the top left side. There's the Lurker Den. It's halfway done. We always say it. When Solo gets to Lurkers, he's an even scarier player. You know, it feels like when he gets to Lurkers, he's really very much so in his comfort zone at that point. And that does feel like where we're about to be. I mean, Solo's just deflecting the aggression, surviving. And again, with Lurkers out, this becomes a very different game where the Terran's going to have to approach it quite differently as well. Submarine step up, going to work on that hatchery. Ling Bane on the top side, wanting to figure out what it will do. It's going to have that +1 vehicle weapons, +2 armor coming out. Lings up and around the top as the Ling Bane Hydra continues to come across. Is going to run straight in towards these siege tanks. A couple tanks going down. Quite a few tanks going down, in fact, as that +2 armor is about halfway done. The Medivacs and tanks still building. Hydras, Lings, and Banes building too. Adrenal glands and the Overlord speed continue to produce as Ling Hydra gets to the front. Going to push those Marines away. Tanks up firing. Queens are taking hits. You're going to see those Queens trying to press on forward. Just going to see the Lings coming around as well. Just running straight in towards those Marines. There's a couple tanks will go down. The Medivac's going to boost up towards the upper right side. Going to start dropping in towards that main base. Entron's going down top left. Army is wanting some working, taking the hatchery down as we go. Like I say, Solar is taking a bit of a beating right now. It's a dead Medivac. Taking a bit of a beating, but it feels like he's on the verge of getting to the point where he survives and pushes back, right? Like, that is what Solar does so well. And it really does feel like we're just about to get there as, again, those Lurkers getting their upgrades. We're really not far from them. Don't get me wrong, 4 bases right now is not pretty against the 4-base Terran. I just have so much belief in once he gets to those Medivacs, it's going to be good. Oh my goodness, that Medivac just flies back over the Zerg army. Mistake there from Cure. There's actually some Lings on this other side. Solar's going to take a fight right now. And he actually might be able to do very well. That one Infestor coming through hits a big fungal growth. Allows a lot of Banelings to get in there. Cure's army is absolutely melting away. Huge push, huge attack from Solar. He didn't even need to get to the Lurkers. Just like that, he's going to wipe the floor with Cure, and Solar is going to go to the